After my eldest sister died, my husband was so overcome with grief that he took monastic vows to pray for her soul. I became the object of everyone's pity. I don't understand. I eat delicacies every day, wear silk and brocade, and sleep on a lavishly embroidered bed. What is there to pity? My son is even a duke. I'm clearly living a life of luxury. My husband, on the other hand, died young. Before he died, he begged me to secretly bury his body next to my eldest sister. He also said that if there is a next life, I must never marry him again. Be a decent person. Xie Yuhua, just grant me and your sister this favor. Waaah. I understand. My husband, please go and be reborn. Waaah. I didn't do it. I didn't do it either. First, the couple is already buried together in peace. I can't let him go and cause trouble. Second, my life with him was just too good. My in-laws were kind and easy to get along with, and the son I bore was a child prodigy. He kept my eldest sister in his heart, so the inner quarters were spotless, not even a concubine. I'm not crazy. So, when I was reborn, when his mother asked me with a smile if I was ready to marry, I shyly replied once more, no. Main text. Better the friend die than I. I felt not a shred of guilt toward Lu Junran, only a longing for a blissful married life. The crown princess smiled warmly and patted my hand. My son has always been cold-hearted, but these past few days he's lost his appetite, saying he's taken a fancy to the Xie family's eldest daughter and begging me to arrange a match for him. In all these years, this is the first time he's ever spoken of being smitten with a girl in front of me. He truly has good taste. You, my child, with your broad forehead and round face, have the very features of a woman who will bring prosperity to her husband and harmony to her household. I lowered my eyes in bashfulness, suppressing the wild joy in my heart. This really isn't my fault. It was Lu Junran who made the mistake. My eldest sister, Xie Yuhua, was born to my father's concubine. I've always been the only legitimate daughter of the Xie family. The crown princess removed the bracelet from her wrist, used a handkerchief to fasten it on me, and sent me home in a special Lu family carriage. She gently took my hand. I've known your mother for a long time. Since I have some free time today, I'll pay her a visit and discuss the marriage arrangements. Rest assured, whatever demands your family makes, I will fulfill them. I nodded, unable to contain my joy. Her eyes sparkled with affection as she looked at me. People outside the palace say the crown princess is difficult to get along with. Before I married Lu Junran in my previous life, I trembled with fear. After I married into the family, I realized what a wonderful mother-in-law she was. She didn't like to get up early, so I never had to pay my morning respects. She was particular about her meals and had her own small kitchen brought from the palace. She didn't eat with us, so I didn't have to serve her food. She was fickle and loved to follow the latest trends. Whenever new clothes or jewelry became fashionable in the capital, she was always the first to own them. But she'd quickly grow tired of them. She'd have the palace maids dump piles of them here. I want them. I'll rummage through them. I love them. I want them. While she snobbishly told me that, coming from a humble background, I'd never seen anything of quality. She'd hand me the key to her private storeroom and let me pick whatever I wanted. Every time I knelt before her, tears streaming down my face, thanking her, it was completely genuine and heartfelt. Mother, my dear mother, damn it all. We've missed out on so many years together. Just as I was about to give birth, my eldest sister paid me a visit. That was when I learned that Lu Junran's heart didn't belong to me. The sudden onslaught of emotions caused me to go into labor with complications. When the crown princess found out, she flew into a rage, ordering my eldest sister to be beaten to death with sticks right there in the courtyard. Lu Junran was heartbroken. For the first time, he defied the crown princess, carrying my half-dead eldest sister away. The crown princess felt both heartbroken and guilty toward me. After the child was born, she took charge of every single matter. She even invited a theater troupe from Yangzhou, hired male entertainers, and sent them to my courtyard to cheer me up. With tears in her eyes, she kept urging me, afraid I might do something reckless. You must stay cheerful during your confinement. You mustn't cry. She also feared that Lu Junran might do something outrageous to hurt me. She had my eldest sister's husband exiled to Lingnan, ordering him to take my eldest sister with him and banish them from the capital for life. Lu Junran protested. And the censorate cried foul. She merely laughed coldly. I am biased toward my own family, what can you do about it? When she passed away, I cried until my voice was hoarse. I was truly heartbroken. It was far more heartfelt than when her son died. When the carriage arrived at my home, I helped the Grand Princess step down, only to find another carriage waiting outside. It was also a Lu family carriage. The coachman came over to pay his respects to the Grand Princess. The Grand Princess smiled and patted my hand. I never expected Junran to be so impatient. Actually arrived ahead of us. I began to feel a bit uneasy. In my previous life, Lu Junran had never come to our house at this time. I hope nothing untoward has happened. What you fear most is exactly what happens. Sure enough, this wretched heavens can't stand to see me living a good life. Inside the house, Lu Junran was already having tea with my parents. My eldest sister was attending to Lu Junran's side, the two of them standing very close together. My eldest sister was the very picture of delicate fragility and boundless allure. Lu Junran's ears turned bright red. Seeing this scene, the Crown Princess's expression suddenly turned cold. When Lu Junran saw us arrive, he led my eldest sister over to pay their respects to the Crown Princess. He walked toward me, directly pushing aside my hand as I supported the Crown Princess, and said to my eldest sister, Wan Yu, you come and help my mother inside. In the presence of the Crown Princess, my eldest sister's smile and demeanor became much more dignified. But before she could speak, the Crown Princess said coldly, there's no need. I can walk on my own. I'm not so old that I can't walk without help. After the Crown Princess went inside, Lu Junran caught me off guard and glared at me fiercely. Xie Yuhua, are you really that shameless that you want to marry me? I have no intention of marrying you. It's your sister I want to marry. If you dare to meddle in this again, just wait and see what I'll do to you. He warned me viciously. But when he turned to my sister, his expression softened once more. Let's go. Watching them walk side by side, a perfect match of handsome man and beautiful woman, I didn't feel a single shred of sadness. My sadness over Lu Junran only existed during those few years of marriage in my previous life. After he entered the monastic life, I lived 60 years of pure bliss. I'm nearly 100 years old now. How could I possibly feel sad? So what if I'm shameless? It's not like I want to marry him, I want to marry his mother. Besides, our only legitimate son is so brilliant. A child prodigy. He's never given me a moment's worry since he was little. When he grew up, he wasn't just the youngest top scholar in the civil service exams. He also took first place in the military exams. He won every battle he fought, earning the title Invincible General. The Lu family's private troops all say he embodies his grandfather's spirit. He single-handedly transformed the Lu family's title, which was supposed to last only a few generations, into a hereditary one that would never be revoked. After learning of his father's deeds, he felt ashamed and even offered to marry into my family to keep me company for the rest of my life. With a mother like me and a son like him, I'd be willing to hold my nose and accept that fool Lu Junran. My eldest sister knelt before the Crown Princess to express her gratitude. She explained that on her way back, she had been harassed by villains and accidentally fell into the river, and it was Lu Junran who saved her. I quietly rolled my eyes. The Crown Princess sneered. I learned of Junran's rescue yesterday. The girl he saved claimed to be the legitimate daughter of the Xie family. How could it possibly be you? My eldest sister's face paled, and Lu Junran looked over in confusion. Wan Yu is the Xie family's legitimate daughter. Father stepped forward to explain. Wan Yu was born to a concubine. She is a daughter of a concubine. Lu Junran froze. My eldest sister stammered, unable to speak, her eyes instantly reddening. The Grand Princess, having weathered the intrigues of the palace, saw right through the eldest sister's petty schemes at a glance. You can't bring yourself to say it, can you? She turned her gaze to Lu Junran. You foolish boy. All these years you've been oblivious to romance. Yet you've fallen for such a stupid and wicked woman. Her voice suddenly turned icy. The eldest sister immediately knelt down, crying as she pleaded for mercy. How could your highness say such a thing? This humble maiden. I am merely of low birth and feared the young marquis would look down on me. Lu Junran was heartbroken. He grabbed his elder sister's hand, trying to pull her to her feet. He glared at me. Mother, you must have been swayed by the words of this woman at your side. Whether one you is a legitimate daughter or a concubine's daughter, I don't care. Didn't you say it yourself? A woman's character is what matters most. Our family isn't some petty household that would degrade a good girl by distinguishing between legitimate and illegitimate daughters. The Grand Princess raised an eyebrow. Yes, indeed. I did say that. But this woman by your side can hardly be called a good girl, so there's no question of anyone degrading her. On the contrary, she is the one degrading her own sister. She was harassed by a villain and fell into the river. You went to save her. The two of you must have had physical contact. Yesterday, when you went out to investigate the case with your superior, you were dressed in coarse, shabby clothes, the sort of fabric commoners wear. As for this Miss Wanyu, seeing that you're not from a distinguished family, she feared you might cling to her. So she claimed to be the legitimate daughter of the Xie family and framed her own younger sister. She could have easily fabricated any identity to settle this matter. Yet she chose to impersonate her younger sister, and you call that not having ulterior motives. The Xie family holds a third-rank official position and is a prominent household. If it hadn't been you who saved her yesterday, she would truly be a commoner with designs on climbing the social ladder, coming to the Xie household to cause a scene. Does her younger sister, Yuhua, have any other path but death? My parents' faces turned ashen in an instant. Especially my mother. The look in her eyes as she stared at Xie Wanyu was as if she wanted to devour her. Xie Wanyu knelt on the ground, banging her head repeatedly until blood flowed freely. Your Highness. I had absolutely no such intention. I had absolutely no such intention. If I truly harbored such a malicious thought, the person who saved me would surely recognize my face once he arrived at our home. My mother retorted bitterly. A mere commoner, how could he possibly enter the inner court to see the young lady? Even if it were a case of mistaken identity, once the scandal breaks, your sister's reputation will be ruined. Even if that man explains himself, people will only assume our family forced him to recant. Why didn't you mention this when you returned yesterday? If Lord Lu hadn't come today to propose marriage, and you'd learned of his status as a young nobleman, what would you have said then? Ignoring the presence of the Grand Princess, Mother grabbed my eldest sister by the hair and slapped her across the face twice. I have only this one daughter. How dare you harm her like this? Though you were born to a concubine, all these years your food, clothing, daily necessities, and tutors, everything has been provided just as if you were a legitimate daughter. To arrange a marriage for you when you came of age, I even told your father I'd have you adopted under my name. Having the title of a legitimate daughter always sounds better. Is this how you repay me? Xie Wanyu wept uncontrollably, crying out in anguish. No, no. Lu Junran suddenly shoved my mother aside. I hurried to steady my staggering mother, while the Grand Princess was beside herself with rage. Now that you know this woman's true nature, do you still intend to marry her? Lu Junran replied resolutely. Yes. I love her. No matter what she's like. Even if what you say is true, Mother, I will still marry her. He looked at me, his gaze unconsciously burning for a moment before stiffening and turning away. As for Miss Xie, I simply don't like her. No matter how good she is, no matter how high her birth, I won't have her. Lu Junran's words were harsh, reducing me to nothing. The Grand Princess looked at my pale face and faltering form, glaring furiously at Lu Junran. If you think you're going to marry Xie Wanyu, you're dreaming. A woman with such a vicious nature would be a disgrace to the Duke's household even as a concubine. She supported me, her eyes filled with remorse and pity. Yuhua, don't listen to my son's nonsense. You're a wonderful young woman, and I like you very much. Don't be sad. Even if our Duke's mansion lacks the fortune to have you as my daughter-in-law, You can still be my goddaughter. Huh. Wealth and glory. A child prodigy, are you running away? I will certainly arrange a fine match for you. My nephew, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, remains unmarried to this day. Mother, Lu Junran interrupted her urgently. Have you lost your mind? How could she possibly be fit to be crown princess? The Grand Princess looked down at him from above. If I say she's fit, then she's fit. This is utterly ridiculous. Since you want that seductive vixen by your side, why do you care who Yuhua marries? I'd say you're the one who's gone mad. Lu Junran's face flushed crimson, and he was left speechless, but a light dawned in my eyes. I did feel a twinge of sadness at what the Grand Princess had said, because I suddenly realized that Lu Junran had also been reborn. I wouldn't be able to live the good life I'd wanted, just like in my previous life. Ah, what a pity. My prodigy Sony, wonder if I'll ever have the chance to meet him in this life. I was hoping to keep riding his coattails. You know, a mother's status rises with her son's success, and I'd love to see him become a dragon. But being the crown princess's consort isn't half bad either. I'm not picky. Not picky at all. Haha. Lost in thoughts of a better life. I couldn't help but laugh. Hee hee. Lu Junran's face instantly darkened as he lashed out at me without thinking. What are you laughing at? Good heavens. You actually dare to dream of becoming the crown princess. Xie Yuhua. You fickle woman. You're not even worth 3 taels of silver. Yet you dare to harbor such delusions. I didn't retort, because there was naturally someone on the scene to put him in his place. The crown princess slapped him across the face, then berated him at length. She had the guards escort him, furious and humiliated, and the betrothal gifts he brought to leave. Lu Junran refused to go, while my eldest sister wept her heart out beside him. Outside the door, the steward suddenly rushed in, his face deathly pale, and knelt down to say, "Outside, everyone is saying that our second young lady fell into the river and was saved by a commoner. Now, that commoner has come to propose marriage, but our family, relying on our official status, refuses to marry our legitimate daughter to him and denies the whole thing." My eldest sister's eyes rolled back, and she fainted. My parents also slumped in their armchairs, their minds a blank. Only Lu Junran and I exchanged bewildered glances, seeing astonishment in each other's eyes. This was a completely different turn of events from my past life. In my past life, the rumors had involved my eldest sister and the top scholar, Qi Zhao, not me and some commoner. In my past life, it wasn't Lu Junran who saved my eldest sister. It was the top scholar, Qi Zhao. Qi Zhao was exceptionally talented and strikingly handsome. Artists painted his portraits to sell. Young ladies would secretly buy them. My eldest sister had bought one of Qi Zhao's portraits. Of course. Everyone loves beauty, so I had bought one too. After Qi Zhao rescued my eldest sister, she revealed her identity, saying she was the eldest daughter of the Xie family, and pleaded with him to come propose marriage soon. Qi Zhao, however, refused her, saying that a life-saving favor could not be used as leverage for personal gain. He also said that a woman's reputation was of the utmost importance, and since he already had a beloved, the matter should be treated as if it had never happened. After my eldest sister returned home, distraught and dejected, she actually had her maidservant spread rumors outside that she had been saved by the top scholar and that the two had shared an intimate moment. Qi Zhao assumed the rumors were spread by villagers who had recognized their identities. To protect his eldest sister's reputation, he took the initiative to propose marriage. His mother also recognized her as a legitimate daughter, prepared a generous dowry for her, and ensured she married with dignity. After the wedding, the eldest sister and Qi Zhao enjoyed a period of affectionate harmony. However, after Qi Zhao discovered that she had spread the rumors herself, he began to neglect her. I do not know when my eldest sister and Lu Junran first met, nor when they fell in love. In any case, in my previous life, it was Lu Junran who came to ask for my hand in marriage. This happened 2 years after my eldest sister and Qi Zhao were married. I married Lu Junran while remaining completely in the dark. It wasn't until I became pregnant and was nearing delivery My eldest sister came to tell me. And only then did I find out. Lu Junran married me. Simply so he could have a familial connection with her, allowing them to see each other frequently. This was a massive blow to me at the time. I nearly lost both my life and the babies. Because up until then, Lu Junran had put on such a convincing act. For the 3 years of our marriage, he treated me with the utmost care and consideration. He played the part of a devoted husband to AT. I loved him, and I believed he loved me too. I was still very young back then, unable to handle the situation, and I nearly went down the wrong path. My heart turned to ashes, and I was ready to drag them both to their deaths with me. It was the crown princess who set me straight. It was my child who kept me alive. That's why I let that pair of scoundrels play out their tragic love story for a few years before sending them to the Hall of Yama. In this life, after Lu Junran was reborn, he seized the initiative and appeared before Xie Yuhua to save my eldest sister. But my eldest sister hadn't seen him before that. On top of that, Lu Junran is a military officer's plain-looking, with a rough and rugged demeanor. The fabric of his clothes wasn't even as good as that of my household servants. All these factors combined, naturally, my eldest sister was terrified, fearing he would cling to her. She also harbored some malicious intent, falsely claiming my identity, hoping to pin this scandalous affair that would ruin her reputation on me. It was just that my eldest sister hadn't expected the one who saved her to be the young master of the Duke's mansion. As for the rumors circulating outside, I suspect they stem from my eldest sister hearing today that someone had come to propose marriage in the front courtyard, causing her to panic and act rashly. Before she even had a chance to verify Lu Junran's identity, she sent a maid out to spread the rumors. I breathed a sigh of relief. Such a twist of fate. Had any single step been missing, we would never have reached this situation. This marriage is now bound to be mine. I really didn't do anything. I suppose this is fate. Fate. Then, I'm out of options. After hearing the steward's report on the rumors circulating outside, the Grand Princess clapped her hands with a cold laugh. A palace maid pinched the flesh on my elder sister's waist. When the pain jolted her awake, the Grand Princess circled her with a sinister grin. It's been years since anyone has made this princess laugh like this. How utterly brilliant. My older sister bit her lip, not daring to look up. She was on the verge of breaking down. It's not just her. If I were her, I'd be a wreck too. A life of luxury within her grasp. And just like that, thanks to her own brilliantly calculated scheming, handed over on a silver platter, and to the half-sister she'd hated since childhood. Who wouldn't go mad? The crown princess signaled with her eyes to the guards preparing to leave with the betrothal gifts. Put them down. She turned to Lu Junran, whose face betrayed utter disbelief. With a smirk, now, thanks to your beloved, Yuhua has suffered an undeserved calamity. This marriage, you must enter into it whether you want to or not. Yuhua is innocent, yet her reputation has been utterly ruined because of you. If you're a man, you should take responsibility. If you must blame anyone, blame your beloved Miss Wanyish was born to be a matchmaker. My eldest sister clutched her chest, rolled her eyes, and collapsed to the ground once more. This time, she had truly fainted from the shock. Lu Junran paid no further attention to his eldest sister. Instead, he cast a despairing glance at me, looking as though he had swallowed a fly. His lips trembled, his face ashen. As he staggered toward the door, it was as if the sky had fallen. He kept muttering to himself, "How could this happen? How could this happen?" The crown princess brought over the list of betrothal gifts Lu Junran had delivered to her elder sister that morning. She glanced at it. Then, with a smile, she said to me, "To marry you. This is far too little. You've been through quite a shock today, so I'll triple the betrothal gifts. We're destined to be mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. I took a liking to you the moment I saw you and wanted to give you gifts and spend money on you. Thankfully, though the process was a bit convoluted, we've ultimately become family." After they left, the rumors outside, following the crown princess's orders, instantly transformed into the eldest daughter of the Xie family was assaulted by villains, fell into the river, and was saved by a young nobleman who descended from the heavens like a divine warrior. The young nobleman concealed his identity as a prince's descendant, claiming only to be of commoner birth, fearing he was unworthy of the young lady, the eldest daughter of the Xie family. Disregarding social status, declared resolutely, a hero's worth is not measured by his origins, whether commoner or prince's descendant. You are the husband I have chosen. Such a match made in heaven. Is this not a perfect pairing of a talented scholar and a beautiful maiden? A match made in the heavens. Today, the young marquis came to propose, revealing his true identity. Both families were overjoyed. Everything went exactly as hoped. How wonderful! How wonderful! My mother and I were counting the betrothal gifts from the Duke's mansion while listening to the steward report the praise being heaped upon me outside. In an instant, I became the virtuous young lady everyone spoke of, whose loyalty and integrity rivaled that of any man. I felt dazed, as if I were in a dream. I hadn't done anything at all. Truly, fate is unpredictable. This good fortune was meant for me. Even happy occasions can be exhausting. My eldest sister slowly came to, upon hearing the steward's report. She rolled her eyes and fainted once more. Mother glared at her with hatred. She confined her to her room. The crown princess ordered that the rumors circulating outside about Lu Junran and me be adapted into a traditional opera, to be performed at the tavern under her name. She also reported this matter to His Majesty the Emperor. The Emperor was overjoyed. With a wave of his hand, he wrote an imperial edict, immediately arranging my marriage to Lu Junran. Not only that, but he also bestowed 100 taels of gold upon me as a reward. This marriage was now a done deal. Along with the imperial edict came the triple dowry the eldest princess had previously promised. She was riding high on her success and laughed. Come to think of it, you're still young. I probably shouldn't be telling you this. I had a dream last night. I dreamed that after you and Junran were married, you gave birth to a grandson for me. My grandson is a child prodigy. In the dream, he kept calling me grandma. She patted my hand, her eyes brimming with tears as she spoke with anticipation. I've set a date for your wedding. You should get married sooner rather than later. After seeing the crown princess off, father came to speak with my mother and me. Looking somewhat troubled, I am the second daughter in this family. I must wait until my eldest sister is married before I can wed. Father said, Wan Yu is, after all, my daughter. I still need to find her a good match. Mother's face instantly turned cold. Father hurriedly added, although she made a mistake, she has been punished by a twist of fate. Such a fine match with the Duke's household has gone to Yuhua. My mother scoffed. Do as you please, but don't even think about registering her as my legitimate daughter anymore. Father sighed regretfully. He had selected a suitor for my eldest sister from among the candidates who had come to the capital to take the imperial examinations this year and had already arranged the engagement. He was said to be of excellent character and great learning, though his family was not particularly wealthy. My eldest sister cried and refused to comply. His family is so poor. If I marry him, won't I starve to death? Father was furious. This match was one he had carefully selected for my eldest sister. He confined her to her quarters and forcibly set the wedding date. My eldest sister tried every means to resist, but when she realized nothing could change it, she disguised herself as a maid, sneaked out, and found Lu Junran. Weeping, Lu Junran brought her back and demanded to see me by name. As my fiancé, it was only natural for him to be staying at my home. After seeing me, he had the servants stand guard around the pavilion and spoke bluntly. Xie Yuhua, you've been reborn too, haven't you? I nodded. He glared at me with resentment. What did you promise me before you died? I spoke with righteous conviction. You were the one who begged to marry the Xie family's eldest daughter. It wasn't as if I forced myself upon you. His face darkened. He crossed his arms behind his back and paced back and forth. I intend to take your elder sister as a concubine. This was exactly what I had expected. I replied calmly, though my family is not as prominent as yours. My father is still a third-rank official. My father cannot bear the shame of having two daughters married to the same man. Unless. Lu Junran urged me expectantly. Unless what? I asked. Teasingly. Unless my eldest sister agrees to feign her own death to marry you. Be removed from the Xie family registry. Become your concubine. And never see visitors or set foot outside the Lu household. Lu Junran flew into a rage. How heartless of you. She's your own sister. How is this any different from imprisoning her? I shrugged. This is indeed the best solution and the only one. Otherwise, she'll have to marry the scholar my father selected for her. Though his family isn't particularly wealthy. I've read his essays. He's certain to pass the imperial examinations. In 3 to 5 years. He'll be living in luxury and glorious suitable match. After all, Lu Junran stared at me like a ghost. Giving me a cold smile. You sound like you'd want to marry him yourself. Me. He's crazy. Just as I expected. My eldest sister ended up becoming Lu Junran's concubine. I have no idea how Lu Junran convinced my father. And just like that. It was settled. The Grand Princess wasn't very happy about it. But in the end, she couldn't go against her own son. All she could do was pile on extra dowry to appease me. My mother was the only one who cried for me with genuine sorrow. I held her close. Unable to voice what was in my heart. I couldn't very well say that I found Lu Junran repulsive. That I only wanted to enjoy the luxury and splendor of the Duke's mansion. And had no desire for physical contact with him. There was nothing I could do. I didn't love him anymore. Even a single touch made me sick. Besides, after my eldest sister has harmed me in both lifetimes, how could I stand by and watch her actually live a good life? That scholar was handpicked by father. He's bound to rank among the top 3 in the imperial examinations. If my eldest sister becomes the wife of the top scholar, wouldn't that drive me to my grave? Even if she becomes Lu Junran's concubine now, with the crown princess around, there's no way she'll conceive. Even if the crown princess doesn't intervene, I will. The title of duke will belong only to my son. The wedding day is fast approaching. And I'll take the potion I've prepared in advance. I'll aim to conceive on the first try. If I can avoid sharing a bed with him twice, I'll do so. I truly loathe Lu Junran so much it makes me want to vomit. I can't even pretend otherwise. The same wedding. The same husband. But a different mindset. Lu Junran is different in this life. 2. He hadn't been drinking. His gaze was clear yet complex as he looked at me. Ayu. You look so beautiful today. He sat down beside me with admiration, took my hand, and drank the ceremonial cup of wine. He chattered on, saying so many things to me. This was a sequence of events that didn't happen in my previous life. After drinking the wine, I felt a bit dazed. What was my wedding like in my previous life? Actually, it was terrible. So terrible that every time I thought about it later, even just a little, I wanted to tear Lu Junran to pieces. I thought I had forgotten, but it turns out I never really did. It was just too humiliating. So I didn't want to remember. That day, he was drunk as a skunk. He kicked open the door to the bridal chamber, staggered over to me, and vomited all over me. I had spent 6 months embroidering that wedding gown. Every stitch was woven with my hopes for my future husband. And now, at such a crucial moment in my life, it had become a filthy mess. Those hopes were also cast into shadow. It was like a curse, a sign that I was destined never to be a loving wife to him. He roughly tore off my veil and tossed it carelessly to the ground. With tears in his eyes, he looked up at me, clutched my hand, and sobbed quietly. His voice choked with tears as he murmured sadly, "Aw you. Aw you." I was so foolish back then, and so pitiful. Both my name and my eldest sister's name contained the character for Jade. I thought he was calling me. So, time and again. With a young girl's coyness and shyness, I answered him. "I'm here. My husband. I'm right here with you. Aw you. You must stay with me forever." With a smile in my eyes, I changed his clothes, dried his body, and replied to him with a beaming smile. "Of course. Aw you will always be with you." Later, after learning the truth, I nearly went mad. Sweetness turned to shame, enveloping me from all sides. I was suffocated inside, unable to breathe, unable to draw a breath. How humiliating. It was truly humiliating. I am human too. I have my pride. And I have my own emotions and desires. I felt utterly humiliated. I always wanted to ask Lu Junran, what exactly did I do wrong? Why must your relationship with my elder sister drag me, an innocent bystander, into this? When the emperor executes someone, he at least lets the prisoner die with a clear conscience. Even if you were going to involve me, you should have explained everything to me. If I'd known the whole story, I could have found a solution that would have worked for everyone. You could have stayed with your beloved. And I could have been your young mistress. It would have been a win-win for both of us. But he didn't. He only said he loved me, cared for me, wanted to marry me, and would treat me well for the rest of his life. That's how he deceived me, until I fell for him and became pregnant. I still foolishly believed my husband loved and cherished me. I believed my child would be the happiest child in the world. My child. Lu Yun. So wise and understanding. Even without his father by his side, he never cries or fusses. Instead, he stands before me like a little adult, speaking in a babyish voice. Mother, I'll protect you. I'm your support. It's so heartbreaking. It really is so heartbreaking. How could this happen? It wasn't supposed to be like this. My child should have been born into a loving family, the sole heir to the Duke's mansion, blessed with both love and power. Destined for a lifetime of happiness, he should have grown up to fulfill the hopes I held for him when I carried him in my womb. Not like this. Thankfully, I've made it through. In this life, I won't fall for Lu Junran. Nor will I feel this pain again. He won't affect my emotions in the slightest. My heart is filled only with longing for better days. But when he undid the buttons of my wedding gown while softly murmuring my name, Ayu, my calm composure suddenly turned to rage. I was so furious. My expression darkened abruptly. I turned the tables, grabbed Lu Junran by the throat, and pinned him to the bed. I raised my hand and slapped him again and again. The door was tightly shut. No one outside had any idea what was happening. They just assumed it was the sound of a couple in the bedroom. Lu Junran's cheeks flushed red. He trembled in pain, his gaze hazy and unfocused as he looked at me, his eyelashes quivering. Ayu, what did you put in the wedding toast? Another slap landed hard on his chest. Just some medicine for beasts. His face flushed, the corners of his eyes moist. He grasped my hand desperately and sobbed. Aw, you. I beg you. Give it to me. You dare to beg me. If you're going to beg, you should kneel before me. Aw, you. Kneel. I'm kneeling. Good, aw, you. I had fully prepared myself for my eldest sister to come and cause a scene, but to my surprise, the night passed without a single disturbance. It wasn't until the next day that I learned the crown princess had stationed guards outside my eldest sister's courtyard. Lu Junran couldn't even stand up the following day. His face was swollen and bruised, his body covered in purplish marks. There wasn't a single patch of unharmed skin left on him. He accused me, his eyes filled with fear. You're terrifying, Xie Yuhua. You're nothing but a beast, the worst of the worst. Before he could continue his tirade, I had him packed up, along with his bedding, and sent straight to my eldest sister's courtyard. I had every piece of bedding he'd slept on replaced. The crown princess and the duke resided in the crown princess's mansion. In the duke's mansion, only my eldest sister, Lu Junran, and I lived. My eldest sister's courtyard was guarded by men left behind by the crown princess. Essentially, I was the undisputed ruler here. After Lu Junran had recovered from his injuries, he drifted into my courtyard like a ghost. He said nothing and didn't have anyone announce his arrival. Just a pair of pitch-black eyes, gazing at me with a haunting intensity. This past month, you haven't come to see me even once. I didn't come to find you. And you didn't come to find me, did you? Xie Yuhua, do you even realize I'm your husband? You weren't like this in our past life. Back then, You were so dutiful. You cared for me, made clothes for me, and cooked for me. I looked at him with disgust. Since we'd both been reborn, I saw no point in pretending anymore. You're disgusting. You know that. Don't you like my older sister? Go on. Then. What are you still doing here? He gave an eerie laugh. You're jealous. Stop making a scene. Yu is just my concubine. You're my lawful wife. You need to be more magnanimous, my lady. I couldn't take it anymore. My fists clenched. I couldn't take it anymore. We started fighting again. Before Lu Junran walked away, covering his face, he snapped angrily. You're ungrateful. I'll never set foot in your quarters again. Don't you dare beg me to come. Who's begging? Disgusting. Disgusting. I was going crazy. When is he finally going to die? When will I finally get to live the good life I had in my past life where my husband was dead and no one was bossing me around? I can't take it anymore. 5 straight months. Lu Junran didn't set foot in my courtyard. He was waiting for me to back down and beg for mercy, sending people every day to ask if I'd realized my mistake. I hadn't. All I knew was that I was having the time of my life. It was pure bliss. The Duke's mansion was so wealthy, and the Crown Princess was so powerful. The mansion maintains its own theater troupe, along with singers, dancers, storytellers, and more. The kitchen chefs specialize in Sichuan and Shu cuisines, as well as Yangtze everything imaginable. Now that's the life. When Lu Junran finally couldn't hold back any longer and came to see me, he discovered my belly had swollen. He exclaimed in horror. How did you get so fat? You fool. I'm pregnant. He fainted. When he woke up, his gaze was complex, his expression equally so. It's Ayun. In this life, everything is different. Your eldest sister is by my side, and I will never leave you and your mother again. I will be a good father and make Ayun proud of me. I sneered. What exactly is there to be proud of in a father who never passed the imperial examinations? Even on his deathbed, Lu Junran's face suddenly turned grim. He stared at me, looking flustered. Xie Yuhua, do you know why I loved your eldest sister so deeply? Because when everyone else was mocking me for failing the imperial exams, only you would say, you're a scion of a noble family with a title. You didn't need to take the exams in the first place. Yet I still chose to take the exams, which proves I am a man with my own aspirations and ambitions. In my previous life, when I failed the exams and was sitting by the lake in a daze, you thought I was going to kill myself. When she grabbed me, she fell into the lake herself. Later, she wrote to me time and again to comfort and encourage me. I saw her as a kindred spirit. She saw me as a confidant. I exposed him without mercy. A married woman and a married man exchanging letters, what a deeply moving affair. He stormed off in anger. You'll never appreciate me. With a wife like you, I've truly had the worst luck of my life. I have no obligation to appreciate a fool. After the Crown Princess learned of my pregnancy, she happily took me to the Crown Princess's residence to care for me. My eldest sister grew anxious upon learning of my pregnancy. She had no idea that I had already replaced the incense in her room. The prescription for the pregnancy-inducing medicine she bought was also sent by my hand. Doctor told her it would only be effective if both husband and wife took it together. She didn't tell Lu Junran. Instead, she brewed it and fed it to him, deceiving him by claiming it was a kidney tonic. If taken in moderation, the medicine would cause no harm, but if taken frequently, the liver couldn't handle the strain. All medicines are toxic to some degree, and the body cannot absorb them. One would slowly die from internal depletion. By the 3rd year after Ayun's birth, my eldest sister had become emaciated beyond recognition. Yet she remained unable to conceive. She was dazed and her temper was unpredictable, especially since the scholar she had rejected had gone on to become the top scholar in the imperial examinations. And now, she was merely a concubine in the Lu household. Unable even to keep her own name, she began to feel resentment and regret. She frequently argued and cried with Lu Junran. Unable to bear it, Lu Junran began visiting me often to see Ayun. But I didn't welcome him. And the child didn't cling to him either. He often stared into space. His spirits had plummeted. And he looked much older. He leafed through the annotations in the books I read to Ayun. He no longer mocked or deliberately belittled me as he had in my previous life. You're just a woman, what do you know about writing good essays that criticize the ills of the times? What kind of nonsense is this? Instead, he spoke normally. Your writing is excellent. Ayun's later achievements are inseparable from you. Your talent surpasses mine. Such rare words made me glance at him in surprise. He was clearly still young. Yet in his eyes, there was already a sense of twilight that one would expect to see only in the eyes of an old man. Yuhua. I failed the imperial examinations again this time, and I haven't done a good job in the official post father arranged for me. I've tried my hardest. But the common people are still dissatisfied. They say I'm useless. And my superiors and colleagues look down on me. His voice grew softer and softer. Why am I useless? I've worked so hard. Yet why can't I succeed? Why can Father and Ayun succeed? But only I cannot. Perhaps I'm simply not cut out for public service. And so he resigned his post. Spending every day at home with me and the children, the Duke was furious enough to make a Buddha appear. I was so fed up I could have sent a second Buddha to heaven. It used to be fine when he was in office and out of the house every day. I can't tell you how free and comfortable I felt. Now he's stuck at home with me all day, spouting all sorts of nonsense. I really want to report him to the authorities and have him arrested. My ears and eyes are suffering every single day. My eldest sister can't leave her own courtyard. And Lu Junran hasn't visited her in a long time. I endure and wait. Lu Junran has no idea what terrible things a woman driven to madness devoid of hope for life and the will to live is capable of. Just as I once wanted to take them all down with me. But thankfully, I still have my children and my mother, as well as my freedom and wealth and prestige. But my eldest sister has nothing left. Just in case, I've increased the number of armed maids around myself and Ayun. I didn't bother with Lu Junran. So, when my eldest sister sneaked out through the dog hole, intending to kill me and my child, only to find she couldn't get close enough and had to go after Lu Junran instead. It was a truly gruesome death. Both of them met a gruesome end. I breathed a deep sigh of relief. The crown princess was inconsolable, but thankfully Ayun comforted her. And she recovered somewhat. Lu Junran's personal attendant had vanished without a trace. He didn't return until the very last day of his funeral. He handed me a sandalwood box of the finest quality. The young marquis sent me to find the string of coral beads. He said the lady's birthday is coming up, and he owes her a birthday gift. So he told me I must find it. After everyone had left, I held Ayun in my arms as I kept vigil in the memorial hall. Little Ayun stayed by my side. And I let him hold the string of coral beads to play with. A child's hands are too weak. The beads slipped from his grasp. They fell into the basin of burning joss paper. I watched the flickering flames. It felt warm. My heart felt warm too. How lovely. I smiled with joy. I have another 60 or 70 years of good life ahead of me. My mother asked me with concern, "Are you sad?" I shook my head. How could I be sad? If I were to feel pity or sorrow over his death, how could I face the self who, back then, was heavily pregnant and nearly died in childbirth? Back then, I nearly lost both my own life and my unborn child. That was the real sorrow. But Lu Junran, my husband at the time, didn't feel a shred of sorrow for me. He even hated me, despised me, and blamed me for causing my eldest sister to nearly be beaten to death by our mother-in-law. So, he was blind to the fact that I was struggling to give birth on the brink of death, even when the imperial physician told him that both mother and child might die. He didn't even pause for a moment. Instead, he turned and walked away with my eldest sister in his arms, leaving behind a cold, indifferent remark. That is her fate. If she dies today, it is her bad luck. It is not my fault. Nor is it one you's. My endless tears and blood could not ease the pain welling up in my heart. Aren't we husband and wife? Am I your enemy? Lu Junran. I don't know. I asked myself over and over again. There was no answer, but I survived. And with that, I had my answer. They are all my enemies. They all deserve to die. Lu Junran didn't know that in my previous life, he had died silently at my hands. I had laced the perfume pouch he carried with a lethal substance. In this life, at least, I didn't have to get my hands dirty. That's for the best. I kept my mouth shut. In both lifetimes, I never revealed a single trace of my murderous intent. What if there's a next life? That would mean another few decades of good times. The story ends here. Thank you all for sticking with me. See you in the next one.